Hello, cannedcream here, CC for short, and today I would like to talk to you about technology. Or, to be exact, the evolution of technology in Equestria. A few weeks ago, I did a video detailing MLP's various holidays, wherein I made a comment about why the technology of Equestria advanced as it has. If you haven't already seen the video, go back and watch it. I'll wait. Okay, waiting is boring. I'm not going to wait. As I said in my previous video, the technology of Equestria is quite advanced, but it has been limited and directed into several very specific areas: transport, housing, entertainment, and medicine. And I find their level of advancement pretty interesting. While I know there are some contradictory examples, for the vast majority, in worlds where magic reigns, technology is almost non-existent. And I don't mean worlds where magic has been introduced, I mean worlds where magic has always been. In those universes, tech seems to only reach about medieval levels and then stagnates. And when you really think about it, it kind of makes sense. Technology exists for the sole purpose of making our lives faster, better, easier, and more comfortable. There are things that we cannot do ourselves, nor can we receive them from nature. So we build machines that do them for us. But take away those limitations, and you take away the need for advancement. Have you ever heard the saying, necessity is the mother of invention? Without that, creation is only there for creation's sake. That's why I find it so amazing that Equestria is so close to our own in scientific advancement. And in some cases, they're right on par. They live in a world where a unicorn can do anything from levitate to transform you into a breezy, if that's your thing. MLP has even shown us that objects and potions can be infused with magical properties, granting gifts to non-magical creatures. So if this is the case, if Equestria has all of this magic, then why have they not fallen into the same technological slump as, say, Tamriel, Thedas, or Middle-earth? Well, I would say that there actually is that same necessity for advancement that we have. Think about it like this. Magic may be prevalent in Equestria, but not every creature has direct access to it. For simplicity, let's look at just the pony population. And to really narrow things down, let's just assume that each of the three races are equal in population. Even in this perfect scenario, unicorns would only make up 1/3 of the population, meaning that the available magic is relatively scattered. Making matters even more bleak is the fact that our main protagonist, Twilight Sparkle, is not the standard representation of a unicorn's abilities. Remember that magic is her life. It's a subject that she has dedicated nearly every waking moment to up until her arrival in Ponyville. Her powers and abilities do not reflect across her species. Just like how Fluttershy or Bulk Biceps are weak flyers, there are unicorns out there who are weak with magic, or are only skilled in one specific aspect of it. For an example, let's say that you're pretty gifted at playing guitar. Does this mean you can also play the drums, the piano, the tuba? They may all be musical instruments, but they're still vastly different from one another. Without a lot of work, time, dedication, or natural talent, the average person is not going to master every instrument, just as the average unicorn is not going to master every type of magic. So this is why Ponykind began to experiment, build, and create, and they have done so based upon what meshes best with their needs, desires, and shortcomings. Let's go ahead and start with medicine. It might seem a bit odd for the otherwise rural town of Ponyville to have such a large and high-tech hospital. Even if we have not directly seen healing magic outside of Zecora's potion, it has to exist. Considering magic has the ability to physically alter the body, it would be improbable for it not to also be able to fix it. However, for the same reason that you or I can't perform complicated surgery, neither can most ponies. Not without the proper amount of education anyway. A deep wound, a broken bone, an illness, a fractured wing, all these things need to be fixed in a specific way. And if there's one thing MLP has been sure to demonstrate, it's that the magic in their world has consequences. If you don't know what you're doing, the outcome could turn disastrous. They have these facilities and equipment for the same reason that we do, so that trained professionals can isolate the exact cause, location, and severity of your problem, and prescribe the best course of action. I mean, Twilight is great with magic and all, but would you really want her messing around with your internal organs? As for transportation, this follows the same principle we used before, just swap unicorns with Pegasi. Equestria is an expansive land with a lot of wilderness and rolling country in between settlements. While unicorns can teleport, it seems to be very limited in range and very hard to do. In Applebuck season, Twilight is able to teleport a few feet without a problem, but in Ticketmaster, the distance from outside to in her home leaves her dizzy and Spike's slightly singed. And while Pegasi can fly, every flap of their wings is an act of physical exertion. Sure, they can probably get from one end of Equestria to the other flying, but by that same merit, you can also go from one end of your country to the other on foot. It would just take a lot of time and effort. And thus, that's why ponykind has invented carriages for short distance travel and balloons and trains for long distance. Which also means ponies have invented steam power. Anyone up for a steampunk MLP spinoff? For housing, matters become pretty self-explanatory, especially when you go outside of Ponyville to a more densely populated center like Manhattan or Philadelphia. We've seen that the ponies do have glass and metalworking. It shouldn't come as a surprise when these technologies are used to improve the living conditions, as well as create additional space. Take into account how in tune with nature ponykind is, and it makes even more sense why they choose to build up rather than out. So why do we still have small hamlets like Ponyville if they have access to all this technology? Well, thanks to episodes like Winter Wrap-Up, we see that Ponyville is a stickler for tradition. While they have updated their utilities to be on par with modern times, they've kept their basic infrastructure the same from their earliest days, an homage to their town's beginnings. After all, Ponyville was a direct gift from Princess Celestia. It's likely the town would want to honor that. Finally, we come to entertainment. Movies, DJ booths, arcade games, record players. You have to admire how the pony population never forgot the importance of fun. And as I said way back in my festival video, it's all a means to promote morale and interaction, to get ponies out of their routines and having fun with one another, to spread love and harmony across the land. Remember, not only is this good for morale, it's also keeping the Wendigos at bay. Because it just wouldn't be MLP if there wasn't a dark, terrifying undertone somewhere. So party down, party ponies. Your life depends on it. So there you have it. While at first glance, it may be easy to discount Equestria's technological advancements, remember that these are the creatures that invented electricity, steam power, electronics, wubs. Despite their animal appearance, they are not primitive. They've just found a happy harmony between magic and science. Now, what do you think, dear listener? How has pony tech evolved, and what do you think is their greatest achievement? Post about that in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and as always,
stay pony, my friends.